cauliflower cheese, arguably one of Britain's most best loved side dishes on a roast dinner. You know, whether you're going out for a roast, you're making it at home, cauliflower cheese is always going to be there. But for me at least, I think cauliflower cheese always seems to be a bit of an afterthought. You know, whether you go out for dinner, you know, you're making a dinner at home, everyone goes on about the roast beef, the roast meat, you know, the roast potatoes, the Yorkshire puddings, the gravy, whatever. Okay, but the cauliflower cheese is kind of, it's a bit of an afterthought. You know, it's just some cauliflower and a bland cheese sauce, you put it on your plate and you kind of like it, but it's always an afterthought. It's always considered a bit of a side dish. For me personally, I don't think that's right. First of all, I don't want my gravy and cheese sauce from the cauliflower cheese all mixing together and being this sort of disgusting gloopy mess. I don't want that. Secondly, I think that cauliflower cheese should be a main. It should be celebrated as a dish in its own right. Not pushed to the side, but being centre of attention. And that's what we're going to do today, because this thing here, this cauliflower, the humble cauliflower, is one of the best brassicas out there. It's full of vitamins and minerals. You can eat the leaves as well. I'm going to show you how to do that. But we're going to turn this cauliflower into the best cauliflower cheese you're ever going to have in your life. And we're going to have it as a main, not as a side. And there's going to be a little twist at the end, which some of you might find a bit controversial, a bit weird, but stick with me, it's going to work, trust me. First things first, we're going to prep the cauliflower, this big old fat boy collie, which is about just over 1 kilo in weight. And as with all my videos, all the ingredients will be listed below this video in the description, and they'll also come up on the screen now, so you can kind of note everything down, what you need to go shopping, etc, etc. But with this cauliflower then, it's a big old boy, isn't it? Jesus. First thing we're going to do is take the leaves off. Don't throw these away. You can absolutely use these. These ones are a bit ropey, a bit old, but they will still go nice in the dish. We don't want to waste anything. Just take them off, pop them to one side. Next, we're going to take out this centre core piece here. Just run your knife at an angle, just dig out that core, twist, pull it out. Give that to the rabbit, chuck it on your compost heap, whatever. And then take your big old knife and just cut it in half. Okay, it just makes it easier to work with. And basically you want florets like that, so just take a smaller knife and just cut the florets. You want them all roughly about the same size, just so they cook evenly. You know, sort of bits like that really. So there is our bowl of cauliflower florets. This boy's got a bit of dirt on his face. Don't worry, we're going to wash them in a minute, so they won't be mucky. And these little inner core pieces here, once you've taken the florets off, are perfectly fine to eat. So I'm going to chop these up as well. There we go, just into chunks. And if you haven't got a massive hoofing great cauliflower like I have, just use a couple of smaller ones. It's perfectly fine. We'll add that to the bowl of our cauliflower florets as well. But we need to give them a wash because it's, you know, they're pretty dirty. Same with these leaves and all. Got all sorts of creepy bugs and crawlies all going over that, leaving their shit everywhere. Just give everything a wash. Stick a colander in the sink. Whack it over, turn the tap on, get everything washed. It's not difficult, is it? Then those florets can go into a nice big pan there. Same with the leaves, water on, give them a good old scrub. Oh, f off, will you? Once the leaves are nice and clean, just roughly slice them up. These leaves are absolutely packed with goodness. There's absolutely no reason to waste them. Then I'm going to stick those in a bowl to one side for a second. Next, chorizo. Now most people call it chorizo or chorizo, and that's fine because although it is technically pronounced chorizo, but as I've since discovered, you can't really sort of tell people the correct way to say it without sounding like a total prick. So I've given up now. Just say it how you want. It don't matter. I'm going to slice it in half. Take off those little knobby end bits. Turn it into like a little earring if you want. Little chorizo earrings, might catch on. Probably won't. And take a knife and just run it down the middle of the chorizo like that. And then just peel off this sort of skin. It's perfectly edible. You can eat this skin, it's not a problem. It gets stuck in your teeth, it's a bit bitty and not very pleasant. So just get rid of it, just pull it off. And then I'm just going to cut my chorizo into cubes, quite decent size cubes. Sort of like that kind of size. That bit's for me. Then we'll get all of that into a bowl. Secret to this is just get everything ready, get everything prepped. It makes life a lot easier. Next, some shallots. If you can't get shallots, use like one sort of medium-sized red onion. I'm using shallots because they're sweet. Okay, there's a lot of richness in this dish, so that sweetness from the shallots is gonna balance everything out. And you know the score. We're gonna get these peeled. And then dice those shallots, not too small, but not too big either. About that sort of size will be fine. Then once diced, I'm going to get those into a bowl out of the way. Garlic, and I want 3 cloves. There is garlic in the chorizo already, but you know, garlic's delicious, isn't it? If you want a bit less, then just use 2. Bloody bits of shit everywhere. Christ. Again, don't be fussy. Give them a whack. Obliterate it like I just have. Oh. Chop your garlic up into little bits. So that's everything chopped and diced and ready to go. We do need to grate some cheese for the sauce, but we'll do that in a bit. But first up, I'm going to get my cauliflower, my florets. I'm going to fill this pan up with water. Stick that onto the hob. Stick it at the back here. Put it on maximum heat because I want to bring this to the boil. A little shufty of salt, because what we're going to do is par cook the cauliflower. We're not going to cook it all the way through, just until it's about halfway cooked. So we're going to bring that to the boil, turn it down to a simmer for about 3 minutes or so. Get the big boy out, and then straight into my pan here, I'm going to add my chorizo. The heat's not on. There's a reason for that. We're going to turn it on now. It's about 4 on an electric hob. And the reason we're adding it to a cold pan is so we can turn the heat on and bring it up to temperature slowly. By doing that, we're going to render the fat out of this chorizo. Okay, which is going to give us a nice golden oil that will come out, which will add flavour and it will look nice as well. And as the oil comes out, this chorizo will crisp up as well. It's little things, isn't it? Little steps done right.
Just trying to live, little mama, don't text me. Watching from afar like a star, this the best seat. I'm just trying to win.
Now you can see, look, all that wonderful oil that's come out. There's no added fat in there whatsoever. That has purely come out of the chorizo. Okay, so we don't need any fat at this stage. Gone a little bit crispy, so I've turned the heat down to another 2. So next we can add the diced shallots and also our leaves from the cauliflower. And on a gentle heat, we want to saute those shallots and those leaves until they start to wilt and go nice and soft. Again, it'll take about 10 minutes or so, nice and gently. Okay, so once those onions and those sort of cauliflower leaves have started to wilt down, we're going to go in with the garlic. Don't add this in too early because it'll burn otherwise. And literally, that only needs like 30 seconds. Just takes the edge off and makes it not raw. Easy, innit, really? And once that's done, I'm going to take the mix and just put it to one side in a bowl for a second. And then to the same pan, still on a lower heat, I'm going to add 2 heaped dessert spoons of plain flour. We'll make our cheese sauce now. And then the same amount of unsalted butter, so equal quantities. And that's going to melt down, and this is what they call a roux. It's the base for our cheese sauce. I probably should have melted the butter first, but oh well. And as it melts down, look, it'll form like a paste. And just cook it out for a few minutes, don't let it burn. But just by cooking it out, it's going to cook the flour out and you're not going to get like a chalky taste in your cheese sauce. And once you've cooked that flour out for a minute, we can start adding the milk. I've got cold milk here, and as soon as I start adding milk, it's going to go lumpy. Right, don't panic, that's supposed to happen, it's fine. Okay, so just a little bit at a time. As you stir it in, it will clump together into like a ball of dough almost. This is in real time. And you'll be panicking, going, what the hell, man? It's ruined. It's not ruined, it's fine. There we go. So you see how it's all clumped together like that? Now you can add a bit more milk. And just repeat the process, okay? This is how you get a lump-free, velvety, luscious sauce. At some point you'll probably want to turn to a whisk. We're not quite there yet. And I've got about 600ml here. I might need a bit more, might need a bit less. It doesn't matter. Which is why I kind of decant it into a jug. So, you know, if you don't need all of it, you can put it back in the milk bottle, can't you? You see, look, how that sauce is nice and smooth. Now we need to grate some cheese. I need to hurry up because it's starting to get dark. I can get no light in this bleeding kitchen. Now, to save time, because I'm fastly running out of daylight, I'm going to use the old grating attachment on my food processor. So, this is a 350g block of cheese. I'm not going to use all of it. I'm just going to cut off around about half. So much easier. And the cauliflower is now done. Just test it with a point of your knife. You can see how it goes in fairly easily, but there's still a little bit of resistance there. So it's ready. We need to drain it off. Don't overcook it. Do you know, there are a few things in the kitchen that really piss me off. That's one of them. For sake. Right, so I'm going to start adding my cheese. Throw it all over the counter as well. I'm keeping it simple. I'm just going to use like a mature cheddar. Use whatever cheese you like. And just kind of melt that in. And I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. And I'm using white pepper for this. I think it goes nice with the cheese sauce. You can use black pepper if that's what you've got. Just a touch. And also, if you're not adding Coleman's mustard to your cheese sauce, then what's wrong with you? I'm going to add a nice heaped teaspoon because it's nice. Get in there. Add a bit more cheese. Right, let's give this sauce a taste. See if it needs any salt. That's perfect. Doesn't need any salt at all. Next, I'm going to chuck in our chorizo and all our veggies, garlic, shallots, etc. And also our drained cauliflower as well. Go on. And basically just mix all that in. There we go, pat everything down. You notice it's not too saucy. You don't want too much liquid in there because some of the water is going to come out of the cauliflower as well. So if it's too saucy, it's going to be too thin in the end result. But that is almost ready for the oven. But we're not done yet. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 180 degrees C, which is fan assisted, or 200 non-fan assisted. And it wouldn't be right, would it, if we didn't top this with a ton of more cheese. I mean, it is January. I suppose I should be doing more healthy stuff, shouldn't I? But I don't know, man. This is good. And then I'm going to get this sucker straight into the oven. There he goes. In you go, my pot pet. And bake that in the oven for about 30 minutes. You want that, like the top of it to go nice and golden brown, nice and crispy, golden, all that kind of stuff. And obviously you want the cauliflower to be cooked all the way through. And those leaves as well, because remember they've got like a stem on it. You want those to be tender as well. So 30 minutes, that should be bob on. Right, let's get this out of the oven. I think it's ready. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Look at that ooey gooey, bubbly, cheesy, wonderful thing. It smells incredible. But, said this before, do not touch that right now. That's going to be hotter than Satan's bum crack. Trust me. You tuck into that now, it's going to melt your bloody face off. So leave it for a good 5-10 minutes before you tuck into it. Right, so it's been sitting for a little while now, so remember at the beginning I said I was going to add a little controversial ingredient. This is it. Salt and vinegar crisps. It is optional, of course, but trust me. I'm going to open them up and give them a good old scrunch up. And then simply scat them on the top. And what this is going to do is give a nice salty, acidic crunch. So it gives texture and balance. Because remember, we've got a lot of fat, butter, the milk, the cheese, everything like that. It's very rich. That little bit of crunch, that little bit of acidity on the top, it's going to really balance things out. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about, isn't it, really? Right. Smells like heaven. Let's get a good old spoonful of that. So have a go. That's sensational. Cheesy, slightly spicy from the chorizo, and those crisps on the top really, really add a nice texture and a nice flavour as well. So there we go. Just goes to show that cauliflower cheese doesn't have to be a boring afterthought, doesn't have to be like that mediocre side on a roast dinner. It could be something exceptional. Make it as a main. Don't sleep on it. It's good, I promise. Listen, I'm going to shoot off because my flipping battery is about to die on this camera. If you like the video, stick a like on it, share it to your friends and family because it's nice and cheap. Cauliflower costs bugger all. And I'll see your gorgeous faces in the next video. Bye for now.